everyone, I am Nishu and today I am going to start a new topic, Kingdom Protista from the chapter Biological Classification of class 11th. Children, till yet we have completed Kingdom Monera and today we will be starting Kingdom Protista. Now let us begin with the characteristic features what the organisms of this kingdom possesses. Now children, let us begin now. Now the general characteristic features of organisms of kingdom Protista are children, the first point, the organisms are unicellular and eukaryotic. Now children, comparatively, the organisms of kingdom Monera, they were too unicellular but they were prokaryotes, complete prokaryotes, and all the bacterians were present in that kingdom. But now children, changes have come. The organisms are unicellular but they are eukaryotes. It means that the organisms are having well developed nucleus. Now children, moving to the second point, organisms may be solitary or colonial. Now what do you mean by solitary and colonial? Now children, solitary means that organism, they can live alone, or colonial, it means that they may form a small group, a small colony, and then they can survive in a place. It means that organisms, they are either solitary, they love to remain alone in a single place, they love to grow in that way alone, or they love to live in a small group, in a small colony. So children, organisms belonging to kingdom Protista, they are unicellular, eukaryotes, they may be colonial or they may be solitary. Now children, organism forms the planktons. Now what do you mean by planktons? Children, generally plankton word is used for small microscopic creatures which cannot be seen with the naked eyes. So children, by the name it's clear, and I told you that they are unicellular organisms. So children, the organisms of kingdom Protista, they are unicellular structure and they are planktons, they are microscopic organisms which cannot be seen with the help of naked eyes, and they can be phytoplanktons or they can be zooplanktons. Children, phyto word is generally used for plants and zoo word is used for animals. So these planktons, these microscopic organisms, they may belong to plant microscopic organism or they may belong to animal microscopic organism. So if they are plant microscopic, then they are known as phytoplanktons, and if they are belonging to animal microscopic organism, then they are said to be zooplanktons. So children, this is a group where all mostly unicellular planktons are present. Now children, let us move to the next point. We are moving to the general characteristic features. We will be starting with the habitat, then we will be moving to its cellular structure, then locomotion, nutrition, reproduction. Each and every point we will be discussing slowly in the further videos. So let us begin with here habitat. Let us move ahead. Now children, habitat. Habitat means that where the living organisms love to survive. I told you that they can survive in a colony or they love to live alone. But here we are talking about habitat, in which place we can find them, we can see them. So children, the first point is that the organisms, they prefer to survive in moist and aquatic habitat. Now aquatic, they may be fresh water also and they may be marine also. The organism of kingdom Protista, they can be found in fresh water as well as in sea water, marine water. So their aquatic habitat is there and they may be freshwater organism or marine organism. Now children, moving to the next part, cell structure. Now, the cellular structure of the protistans, as they are unicellular organism, they do not have a very complex body structure, very complex cellular structure. They do not have it. They are having a very simple cellular organization. Now, which type of organization do they have? Let us see. Now, children, they are having double envelope system. Double envelope system means that generally the organisms belonging to the kingdom Protista, they are having cell wall and cell membrane. It means that the body is made up of two walls. Now the outer wall is cell wall, and then in inner side they are having cell membrane. So this is your cell wall, and children, this is your cell membrane. So double membrane system they are having, double envelope system they are having. And always remember children that the outer wall is cell wall and the inner one is plasma membrane. So that is only mentioned over here, that double envelope system, that is they are having external plasma membrane even. So here an extra plasma membrane is present. Now children, cell wall is present, and this cell wall is made up of cellulose. Now children, they are made up of cellulose generally, but sometimes in many of the organisms there are depositions of many different type of chemicals, like silica is there, many types of chemicals are present. So on the outer wall, your wall is made up of cellulose, but depositions of many different type of chemicals are present. So here is that cell wall is present but made up of cellulose, and many other depositions like silica is present. Now children, let us move ahead with the further points. Now let us children move ahead with the same points of cell structure. Now children, what the point is saying here, that presence of true nucleus, they are eukaryotic, so true nucleus will be present. And what do you mean by true nucleus? The nucleus having a well boundary, well nuclear membrane is present, nucleolus is present, nucleoplasm is confined within the nuclear membrane. So such type of structure of nucleus, when it is present within a cell, it is called as true nucleus. So children, organisms of kingdom Protistans are having true nucleus. That's why they are called as eukaryotic organism. Now children, moving to the next point, discussing the cell structure, vacuoles are present, membrane bound organelles are present. Membrane bound organelles means that organelles like mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, all these cell organelles are present. And you know children, you have studied this in class 9 and even you will be studying in class 11th in the cell structure chapter. Now, these mitochondria, plastid, all these cell organelles are having outer membrane, inner membrane. So, they are having a membrane outside them. So, membrane bound organelle means that these organelles are having well boundary around them, well defined membrane is present around them. So vacuoles are present, different type of cell organelles are present, having a cell membrane, having their outer and inner membranes. Now children, all the organelles are present, so ribosome is obviously present and the type is ATS type. This is also well known to you. In class 9th you have studied that all the prokaryotes, all the bacterians are having 70S type of ribosomes, and from eukaryotes we will be beginning with the ATS type of ribosomes. So here kingdom Protista is having ribosome of ATS type. And what do you mean by S? S means Svedberg's unit or sedimentation coefficient. Now children, cytoplasm is present, cell is there, cytoplasm, and cytoplasm shows a cyclosis or streaming movement. Now, what do you mean by cyclosis or streaming movement? Now, children, within a cell, if I draw a cell over here, now, if I draw a cell over here, children, this cell is having cytoplasm inside. This dotted structure is cytoplasm. Children, this cytoplasm is not stagnant. They are not confined within a place. They keep on moving very slowly inside the cell. So this cytoplasm keeps on moving slowly inside a cell in a circular fashion, and this type of movement is called as cyclosis movement or your streaming movement. Hope children you have understood the streaming, what is the meaning of streaming or what is cyclosis movement. So till yet children we were discussing about the cell structure, and what did we discuss? We discussed that the cell is a very simple organization. It is having complexity is not present. Your cell wall is present. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, and sometimes in some of the organisms in the cell wall your different depositions, different chemicals are also present like silica and all. Now cell membrane is present within them. Then your vacuole, cell membrane, mitochondria, plastid, all such cell organelles are present. Then they are having ATS type of ribosomes. Cyclosis movement is taking place within the cytoplasm. So children, till yet we have discussed all these points. Now let us move to the next portion, that is your locomotion. How do the organisms within the kingdom protistans move? Now children, in them the locomotion happens, the movement occurs because of the presence of special structures. And children, these special structures are flagella, cilia and pseudopodia. You are knowing it that what is the three structures are. Flagella is a long hair-like structure present in the organisms. Cilia is a very small hair-like structures which is present in the organisms, and pseudopodia is a type of false feet which is formed by amoeba, Euglena and all such organisms. Now children, if I start with flagella, now you know that suppose that this is an organism and this organism is having a long hair-like structure, and this long hair-like structure children, this is flagella. This is your flagella, long hair-like structure. Now children, if there is one more organism, and in this type of organism, a very small hair-like structures are present in the body all around, and these very fine hair-like structures, these are called as cilia. And what is pseudopodia? What is pseudopodia? If I draw an amoeba over here, so all special folds which are made. Children, this is a pseudopodia. And number of pseudopodia is not fixed. Animals anyhow they mold their shape and they form a number of pseudopodias. We can say this part also a pseudopodia. This is also pseudopodia. This is also pseudopodia. So any of the molded parts by which the organism is moving forward, is moving ahead, then it can be called as pseudopodia. Hope children the difference between the three structures are clear. Flagella is a long hair-like structure. Cilia is a very small, very fine hair-like structure present on the body of organisms. And pseudopodia is a type of false feet which is formed by the organisms like amoeba, etc. Now children, we will be moving to the main structure, flagella. If I talk about flagella children, then you are knowing that this long hair-like structure is called as flagella. But children, this flagella is having a special type of arrangement, and this arrangement is called as 9+2 arrangement. Children, this is called as 9+2 arrangement. It occurs by locomotion in protestan occurs by flagella, cilia, pseudopodia. This is an important point. And this, if we talk about flagella, then flagella is having a special type of constitution, and that arrangement is called as 9+2 arrangement. Now let us discuss that what do you mean by 9+2 arrangement. Now children, flagella, you are knowing that this is your flagella. I am erasing it. Now children, suppose again I am drawing it. This is your flagella. Now children, if I cut the flagella in a transverse section, if I cut it from here, then in a circular motion, in a circular fashion, the structure will be seen. How? We will be coming to see this type of circular structure, transverse section of a flagella. If this is a flagella and I am cutting the flagella in a transverse section and then I am turning it like this, I can see this circular structure. So this type of circular structure is there. Now children, let us see the structure. That what do you mean by 9+2 arrangement? Now children, on the periphery side, on the outer boundary, your 9 arrangements are there. Children, these are the 9 fibrils, and in between there is 2 more. Now children, this flagella is made up of fibrils. They are made up of fibrils. And what are fibrils? Fibrils are very fine hair-like structures. Very fine. If this is a flagella, this is complete flagella is there. So in this, in between the flagella, many fine hair-like structures are coming. Very fine thread-like structures are there. So those thread-like structures are called as fibrils. And children, these fibrils are made up of a structure, chemical structure called as tubulin. Now this is your chemical structure called as tubulin. And this tubulin helps in making fibrils. And fibrils are making the 9+2 constitution of flagella. So children, on the boundary part, children, there are 9. You can count it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. On the peripheral part, children, there are 9 in present, double. 9 double fibrils are present. 9 double peripheral fibrils are present on the boundary. And in between, children, there are single 2. You can see that I have not attached them. Here the boundary part, all the fibrils, I have joined them, I have attached them. But here in the center, they are aparted from each other. They are aparted from each other. Now children, this aparted portion, this one, this is your 2 central singlet made for singlet fibrils are present. Hope children, this is clear to you all. If I talk about locomotion in the kingdom Protista, the organisms generally move by flagella. And this flagella is having 9+2 arrangement. And this 9+2 arrangement is made up of very fine structures, very fine hair-like structures, thread-like structures called as fibrils. And these fibrils are made up of tubulin. And children, these 9+2 arrangement is in such a way that 9 double peripheral fibrils are present on the peripheral part, on the boundary part of the flagella, and in center 2 central singlet fibrils are present. In such type of arrangement, your flagella is made up, and this flagella is helping the protistans to move from one place to another. It is helping them in movement. And if the organisms are having cilia, very fine hair-like structure, so by that also they can move, and also with the help of pseudopodia, locomotion occurs among different type of organisms. Now children, let us move ahead with further. Now children, move ahead with the next topic, next heading, which is your respiration. Now children, we have discussed locomotion, cell structure, habitat. Now next is respiration. Now children, among the protistans, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration, both the type of respiration occurs. Now in which type of organisms? Now all the protistans who are free living, who are surviving in the environment freely, they are having aerobic respiration. And children, the protistans who are surviving at the bottom of the aquatic medium, aquatic habitat, like under the water of pond, lake, marine, oceans, at the bottom of them, at the bottom level of the aquatic habitat, some of the protistans survive. And children, they are having anaerobic respiration. All the free living organisms are having aerobic respirations, and organisms, protistans, surviving at the bottom of the aquatic habitat and surviving like a parasite among the alimentary canal of human beings, they are having an aerobic respiration. Now children, moving to the next topic, next heading, nutrition. Now children, protistans have both the type of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition as well as heterotrophic nutrition. Now let us discuss this autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition in detail among the protistans. Now children, let us discuss the two modes of nutrition, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. By the name you are knowing and by the childhood you are studying that what is autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic, they prepare their food by themselves in presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. The main thing which we need to know here children is the examples, that diatoms, dinoflagellates, euglenoids. Children, these are the organisms which comes under the category of photosynthetic protistans. They prepare their food by themselves in presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll. And there is nothing to worry children. We will be discussing each and every examples in detail in the later part of the chapter with the further videos. Now children, till yet whatever I am discussing, this is a general characteristic features. In the later part of the chapter, I will be discussing each and every examples individually, separately. Their characteristic features will be discussed. But here, the general characteristic features are being discussed over here. Now children, moving to the heterotrophic mode, you know that they are dependent on others. Organisms are dependent on others. Now which type of mode of nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition they may have? They may be holozoic, saprophytic, then parasitic, mixotropic and symbiotic. And hope children, you all are knowing the terms of this because because while explaining Munerians, I have explained all these terms over there. So holozoic, saprophytic, parasitic, mixotropic, symbiotic, all such type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition are also present within the organisms of protistans, and examples I will be discussing in the later part of the videos, like your amoeba-like organisms are there and many other organisms are there which are over here. If I talk about Euglena, they are coming in the group of autotrophic also, they are coming in the group of heterotrophic also. So there are many such examples we will be discussing in the later part. Now children, Next point is stored food. We were discussing about the nutrition, that which mode of nutrition they are having. They are having autotrophic and heterotrophic. So the food is prepared and the food is stored in which form? So children, the food is stored in the form of starch, glycogen and fat. Now children, till yet I have discussed that your kingdom protistans organisms are unicellular, eukaryotic, then they love to live solitary or in colonies. Then I have discussed that they are having a very simple type of cell structure. Their locomotion, nutrition, respiration, all these parts, all these characters I have discussed in this part of video. And in the next part of the video, I'll be discussing about the reproduction types, that which type of reproduction modes are possessed by the organisms of kingdom Protista. Hope children this much was clear to you all. Thank you.